I'm just going to throw some light, since I'm in the exterior and I'm not in Israel, on two small things that happen in Israel that are a little bit different in other places. What can be different in Israel? We have the compulsory army. We have the Jewish mother. We are a very young country in a big hurry to get updated. And that puts a lot of pressure on men, not on women. And that's maybe one of the things that make men get to the point very fast, while women can allow themselves, in general, to enjoy the work process. I'm jumping forward, considering the time, to, for me, the most important subject of all, is there a change, is there a difference in style? Do we think differently? Is our biological part pushing us, or our sociological upbringing pushing us to think differently than men? And I realized that there are some small differences, even though that architecture is teamwork. And it's very hard to differentiate, but I found this last essay that I'm going to tell you about, that talks about women characteristics in general and how it has its application on the way we think. One is the underlying connectedness to others in general, to objects of knowledge. The second is a desire of inclusiveness and a desire to overcome opposing dualities. The third, a responsibility to respond to the needs of others, represented by an ethic of care. The fourth is an acknowledgement of the value of everyday life and experience. And the next one is an acceptance of subjectivity as a strategy for knowing. Another one is an acceptance and desire for complexity. And the last, an acceptance of change and a desire for flexibility. And I'll explain very shortly. I jumped, and I'm going to talk first about the first two, which is connectedness and inclusiveness. And the explanation is like this. Maybe not in this generation, but in the generation that I was brought up, the little girl at home sees her role model more next to her. And she sees her father going and coming back. And the little boy sees the father, his role model, going to work and coming back. And that creates for him a more polar way of seeing. So the girl sees more continuity, and the boy sees more black and white, woman, man, realistic, sees the more polar. And we see this in the way of planning in general, that women feel more comfortable with more complex projects, and male or more, I can give the example Tadao Ando, that he's more explicit of his shapes and more clear. I'm not criticizing neither this or that, it's just that can be a difference. Now, in the subject of ethic of care or everyday life, I can give an example of Eileen Gray, who discovered that about our new customs in our bed culture, that we eat in bed, some of us. We read in bed, and we have a whole life in bed. So she invented the color sheets, trying to adapt herself to that way of living. And also in storage spaces, she invented many types of storage compartments. Now I'm going to go back to subjectivity and feelings. Eileen Gray wrote this phrase that I wanted to read to you. Modern designers have exaggerated in the technological side. Intimacy is gone, atmosphere gone, formulas are nothing, life is everything, and life is mind and heart at the same time. And to end complexity and flexibility, Eileen Gray sees the problem that the Industrial Revolution brought in simplification of design expression. And another lady architect, Jane Thompson, said that it would be nice to combine the aesthetics of the industrial age, the simplification, with the complexity of the religion and magic. And I'm jumping to the end, and I'm just going to end with one sentence. I just found this sentence that I thought would be nice to finish up the whole lecture. This comes from Women, Chores and Dwelling, and I hope that you don't see in this any provocation. It's just a twist. Men forgot their debt to the first space of all, the maternal space from which every human being was created, the production of an artificial of culture environment, the production of an intelligible universe, religion, philosophy, the creation of true knowledge is implicated in the systematic and violent erasure of the contribution of woman, femininity, and the maternal. This erasure is the foundation of ground on which a thoroughly masculine universe is built. And forgive me for saying this, but anyway, this wasn't written by an architect, but what I can say that us as architects, the big question is, which is the first space, us learning about spaces our lives, that we really knew after all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joyce. Well, before I open it up for questions, again, I have a question by way of clarification, and it might be termed as a masculine question, so forgive me for that. You identified two groups vis-a-vis feminism. The one you term as equality, and you subscribe to that view, or you used to subscribe to that view, a group of women architects who prefer to act as architects without emphasizing feminism.
Yes.
And then you talk about the inequality group where women play a secondary role,
Okay.
the male partner. But then your conclusion is women do design differently. So are you changing your position? Because you did, the equality group does not emphasize femininity.
Me personally?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was never personal in a lecture before, but no, I didn't change because I'm 25 years in the profession, and I'm used to being like this. I also work better on my own, and I got used to working this way. And also, maybe this is my naive part, an architect himself doesn't see so well what the difficulties, because he's not busy comparing himself all the time. Each one tries to advance related to his own self. So I'm happy with where I got to, and I try not to compare myself to Rem Koolhaas or to whoever else, and not try to explain that somebody else did it because of him being male or not. I just discovered this while I was talking with my colleagues, that there were some couples that are friends of mine or not, that they are more accustomed to labor separation, that he does this and she does that. But I'm personally an individual, also in my private life and also in my professional life, so I'm just used to working this way.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions? Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, Joyce.
Thank you.
Joyce.